I just want to say before we get into today's video that I am currently filming this on Friday morning, and I just woke up to the news of Britain leaving the EU this morning, and I'm kind of in shock. I never would have expected that to happen. Beyond that, I guess the fact that that happened makes me so worried for the elections that are happening in the United States in November. It's just a really intense time in the world right now, and I guess I just kind of felt the need to say something because I'm in so much shock about what's going on before we talk about makeup. So, and I know a lot of you that watch my videos are based in Europe, so I imagine it's a very complicated time over there. So now, to lighten the mood, why don't we talk about makeup? My video today was actually a viewer request from several months ago, and I thought it was a really good one, and it was one that I immediately sort of filed away and started compiling a list of. And so over the last couple of months, I've had on my mind brainstorming higher end eco products that I personally feel, in my experience, are dupes, even though I hate that word. I hate most of the beauty world lingo, but that are very, very comparable to conventional higher end products that I have tried. You can call me a snob. I don't really shop at the drugstore. Those aren't really products that I gravitate towards. I haven't in a very long time. So this is just my taste and the sorts of products that I currently have and have used in the past. I don't have products in every category. I really tried to stick with things that I thought were kind of very, very close dupes for a particular product in the conventional world that I have tried. So I didn't really speculate. This is more just firsthand experience. So for example, I was never like a big foundation wearer, so I don't have an eco foundation that's an equivalent for a conventional foundation. So this list is pretty tightly edited and comes from my firsthand experience. If you are finding this video of mine because you specifically were searching in YouTube for something like this, I do have an older video on my channel where I sort of expound more on how I shop for beauty products, what my kind of personal approach and ethics and ethos are towards that, and that's also something that I'll try and touch on briefly in the Q&A that I'm going to be doing, because it's a question I get asked a lot, just because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed when they first want to start transitioning their personal care and beauty products to more cleanly formulated ones, and also because I think the idea of purism and perfectionism is just really pervasive in the kind of alternative health or health-seeking space in general. It's something I've always had major issues with, and I have a pretty balanced approach. I would say I'm pretty 80-20 with most things in my life. The bulk of my makeup and beauty products, I would say, are from eco brands, but I do have conventional higher end stuff that I still use and really, really love and don't have like a mental hang up with using it, or I try not to. So without further ado, why don't I take you through the products that I selected for this video, and I'm going to go sort of in order of how I would apply them on my face. That was the best way I could think to organize this. So I would say college onwards, so probably 2003, 2004 through 2010-ish, I was a huge devotee and just repurchased over and over the NARS bronzer in Laguna. It worked so well on my skin. I went through so many pans of that stuff, like just literally I would sort of stray from time to time, like I would do Benefit Hoola. I did a Guerlain bronzer one time, and I just always would return to Laguna. A product I have used for the last 3 or 4 years, and I personally find to be a really close dupe to that product, is the Studio 78 bronzer in We Evade. So I actually have a brand spanking new one that I haven't yet used, but I'm going to show you. I'm almost done with my first one. I think I showed this in my maquillage empty products videos. But I've had this for probably 2 or 3 years, and sometimes I lose track of time. So it comes like this. I will say the packaging of Studio 78 leaves a bit to be desired, but this is the product. I have it in shade number 2. It comes in 2 shades, 1 and 2. Before I purchased this, I debated for a long time about whether or not I wanted to go with 1 or 2. I am relatively fair. I would say I'm an NC20-ish, depending on the season. This applied with a stippling brush gives me pretty much an identical look to NARS Laguna. I would say it's the same sort of undertone. It's kind of not too warm, not too cool. I don't really ever contour. I pretty much will just do a light bronze on my face. So this really serves that purpose. I don't really know if you could contour with it. It might be a little bit too warm. But if you are looking for a good dupe for NARS Laguna, I think this is an amazing one. But I would say actually that this is more pigmented than Laguna, so I think the stippling brush is very key when using this product. You really have to use a light hand. So I actually didn't like it until I started applying it with a MAC 187, so that's kind of a little user experience tip if you are going to purchase this product. The next thing probably won't be very surprising to you, but this is the RMS Unpowder. And before this, literally it was an exact swap out. I was using the Makeup Forever HD setting powder. This is literally the same thing slash a little bit better. This is even more sort of silken and finely milled, I guess. I don't really know the production techniques of translucent powder. Both are just loose translucent setting powders. I just found them to be literally identical products, with the RMS Beauty one being even a little bit nicer. The Makeup Forever HD was the only loose translucent setting powder that I personally have tried. I know that there are so many others that people are very devoted to. Like I see a lot of big beauty bloggers talking about the RMK loose translucent setting powder. RMS also has tinted versions of these. I don't really need a loose setting powder for coverage. I just need it for very targeted sort of, I guess, oil controller to prevent my under eye concealer from creasing. So this is great. I prefer it to the Well People translucent setting powder. Yeah, pretty much an exact dupe for the Makeup Forever one. So I went through a phase, I don't really remember when, mid-2000s probably, where I was really into, that was when I first started exploring cream products, like cream blush, and I had several of the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouges, and I think I also had a MAC cream blush. I liked the Bobbi Brown ones more because I thought that they were more natural looking on the skin, and I did like them. I never found them to be overly pigmented, but I had like 2 or 3 and I would use them really regularly. So you probably already know what's coming. But I think a better dupe for those are the RMS Lip to Cheeks. So RMS does 2 sort of formulas in their lip and cheek products. They do a lip to cheek and a lip shine, both of which I have and use interchanged on the lips and on the cheeks. But the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouges have a bit of a drier texture, so that's why I would say the lip to cheek is a really close slash better alternative to those. More pigmented, longer lasting, infinitely better ingredients, cuter packaging. I am a sucker for a translucent pot of product. I think they're really easy to work with. RMS is one of my top makeup brands like of life. I really do love them, and so I highly recommend checking out one of the lip to cheeks if you're in the market for cleanly formulated cream blush. Okay, the next one I feel I don't know if it'll be like controversial. It's not, it won't strike you at the outset as being a dupe, but, and I actually do have the conventional product of this still in my life. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in the shade Opal. I got this as part of a holiday duo pack around the holidays, and it was the first time I had ever tried the liquid version of the Shimmering Skin Perfector. So the dupe that I have is also relatively new in my life, and it's the Modern Minerals Moonstone Highlighter that came in the June Beauty Heroes box. So I feel sort of bad mentioning this because it's a product that's exclusive to Beauty Heroes subscribers, so I don't know if it's going to be available sort of to the public. And I know probably what you're thinking. This is a liquid and this is a cream, but they give, in my opinion, they give such a similar finish on my skin. It's like, in some ways I feel like this goes on as a liquid, but it dries down, not really to a powdery finish, but it just kind of sinks into the skin and gives you a very lit from within glow. This has such a unique texture for a cream product. I find it to be very sort of gossamer and lightweight and melts with the skin just beautifully, as opposed to other cream highlighters that I have, like Living Luminizer or Bio Brightener by Well People, which I love. They sit more on top of the skin and look more wet, whereas this just melds with the skin and gives a very similar finish to this. I would say that these are actually quite close in tone. I mean, they're both sort of like champagne. I would say that the Moonstone, I feel, is a little bit warmer. So I tend to use this if I want to look a little bit more bronzy, and this if I want to look a little bit more neutral, I guess. The ingredients in the Becca are not fab. I do think it has parabens and fragrance and, you know, things that those of us trying to find more cleanly formulated products kind of tend to avoid. The Modern Minerals is just formulated exceptionally cleanly. It's actually infused with flower essences as well. If this ever becomes available beyond the Beauty Heroes box, I highly recommend it. Okay, the next thing has been sort of my ride or die eye palette for the last couple of years. And actually, this is one thing where I have not tried the conventional equivalent, but it's too obvious to not mention here. So the product that I have is the Jane Iredale Daytime Eyeshadow Kit. I've used this in countless previous videos, and what I feel that it's a really amazing dupe for is the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. Just looking at them, you would be able to tell how similar they are. It has pretty much identical shades. I think that the Naked Basics has 6 shadows. It has sort of like a matte warm yellow shade, kind of like an eggshell shade almost, and this one is missing that shade. But with the exception of this peach shade, I use everything in this palette on a really regular basis. These 4 shadows are matte, and this one here is sort of your shimmery highlightery shade. This middle color, which is the shade Cappuccino, I'm probably going to run out of first. For me, it's just a perfect neutral taupe gray, I guess. It's just, I can't wear a lot of warm shadows on my lid because my coloring is cooler. So for me, this is just a perfect all over lid definition color, a crease color. The brown is perfect if I want to sort of smoke things out a little bit more, make things more dramatic. The black I use to intensify liquid liner if I'm doing my new obsession, the Lisa Eldridge Quick Cat Eye look, which I am wearing today, and you will be seeing in plenty of future videos because I'm addicted to doing it. Sometimes I'll even mix the highlightery shade with the gray and do that all over my lid. I'm wearing that in lots of previous videos. I wish I could find a use for this peachy color. It's just a little bit warm for me. But overall, I just think if you're gonna get sort of like one everyday basic palette and you're thinking about the Urban Decay Naked Basics, this is just a sort of a better, more cleanly formulated option to consider. The lasting power of these I find to be great, and I'm very picky with eyeshadows, so I kind of can't recommend this enough. One other sort of eyeshadow dupe to tell you about would be a dupe for MAC eyeshadows, albeit they're not comparable at all in terms of price, but I do have several MAC eyeshadows. I'm probably going to be getting rid of them in the near future just because I never wear them, and also I don't think that the quality is that great, or my eyes have just become more oily. These are all MAC shadows with the exception of this one, which is a red apple lipstick shadow. I just find that every time I reach for these MAC shadows, they don't last on me. I don't know what it is. I really try and pack them on. I use an eyelid primer and they just don't do it for me. I have had more MAC shadows in the past and I've gotten rid of a lot of them. But the dupe that I have, because I think it's comparable but better, are the K.R. Weiss eyeshadows. However, not in terms of price at all. I think MAC eyeshadow palettes actually recently went down in price, and the K.R. Weiss eyeshadows are super expensive. I mean, if you buy it with the beautiful packaging, which is like most of the fun of buying K.R. Weiss, then it's like $40+, which is crazy. I only have one, and I have it in the shade Wisdom. I find it to be a better version of a MAC shadow though, I guess. However, I would say that these are not as long lasting and pigmented as my Lorac eyeshadows, so I don't have an EcoLuxe dupe for my Lorac Pro palette. I wish I did. Those shadows are incredible. But for MAC shadows, I think K.R. Weiss, and maybe Red Apple lipstick ones as well, although I don't have as broad of a range of experience with their shadows. Plus, like, I don't know, I think K.R. Weiss is just more sort of luxe and beautiful feeling than Red Apple lipstick. So pretty much for any conventional liquid eyeliner that I've tried, I had a Bourjois one for a while that I really liked that I had gotten when I was in Europe. I have tried the Stila eye pen a very long time ago, but exclusively for the last 3 or 4 years I've been using the Zuzu Luxe liquid eyeliner in Raven. And to me this is better than literally everything I've tried to date. I am on a quest to try as many liquid liners as I can and find something better than this for me. So far I have not succeeded. I know some people really have problems with the applicator. I think I'm just very used to it. It's one of these deals. There is a Sephora brand eyeliner that has decent ingredients, I've heard, and is really comparable to this, and I think a couple of dollars cheaper, so that's another option. But I just repurchased this over and over. It's like $15 on Amazon because I feel like my local Whole Foods are always sold out of these. But it's really pigmented, long wearing, easy to remove. If you can get a hang of the applicator and get used to it, I think this is just a really superb product. It's not really luxe, I guess, but it ticks all the other boxes for me except for being sort of expensive and luxe feeling. Okay, the next one I'm excited to tell you about, it's actually what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and it's the Mahalo Red My Lips tint. Again, I'm not even sure if this is still available for purchase. The first couple of times I used it, what it reminded me of so much, and this again might seem a little strange, is Benefit's Benetint. The way that this product wears down on my lips gives a stain that, from what I remember, is almost identical to Benefit's Benetint. I did really like that kind of bitten cherry popsicle look on my lips from Benefit Benetint, and I've just been so obsessed with this product. My first impression of this was, I was like, it's nice, but I wasn't kind of like super over the moon when I did that first impressions video. I literally have to force myself to reach for other bold lip colors now because I'm just so obsessed with this color and formula and the way it wears down and gives me like a true stain. So yeah, if you can get your hands on this, talk about being exceptionally cleanly formulated, infinitely more cleanly formulated than Benefit's Benetint. Do people even use that product anymore? It used to have cult status, I remember, in like the mid-2000s. It was like in every beauty magazine write-up. I liked the concept, but in execution it never really worked for me, so I cannot recommend this lip product enough. I've been super happy with it. I think in a previous Empties video, I sang the praises of what had been my go-to My Lips But Better lipstick color, which is NARS Dolce Vita. The two that I have that are not exact color match dupes, but I almost like them, I don't know, at least as much, if not a little bit better, because they are so cleanly formulated, are Nudu's 27 Kisses, which is darker than Dolce Vita. It has sort of more mauve or purple, at least on me, but the formula of Nudu's is just truly exceptional if you're looking for a really high-end lipstick experience to replicate the kind of creaminess of NARS lipsticks. Nudu's is excellent. And then my other favorite lipstick formula are the Bite Buttercreams. I have the shade Pecan. I also have the shade Rosewood, but I would say I get more use, at least so far, out of Pecan, and it's kind of my replacement for NARS Dolce Vita. I'm just obsessed with this lipstick formula. I think both of these, they're very high coverage and very creamy, but long wearing. So that's why I feel that they're comparable to NARS lipsticks. I have always really loved NARS lipsticks. The only one I have right now is Shop. And I do really love this lipstick as well. I'll continue to wear it, but as far as pigmentation and lasting power and experience, I would say the Buttercream and Nudu's are very comparable in my experience. So several years ago, when I was really into watching Viviana Does Makeup and Lily Pebbles, they had a real moment with the Bourjois Rouge Edition Velvet liquid lipsticks, and as far as sort of conventional liquid lipsticks go, that's the only brand that I have personal experience with. I found them to be, they were pigmented and pretty, but they just literally tore my lips up so badly. They were really hard to remove. They were so drying and uncomfortable, and they would stain my lips for like days, and I just found them really kind of unpleasant to use. I haven't tried other popular liquid lipstick brands like ColourPop, Anastasia, Kat Von D, Kylie Lip Kit, insert huge eye roll. But the liquid lipstick brand that I have tried and repurchased several of and have been really happy with are the Aromi liquid lipsticks. I would like to actually expand and get several of their neutral shades as well. They have a very wide color range. They're not perfectly cleanly formulated. I know some people still have issues with the dyes that they use in these, but I have just found these to be exceptionally beautiful, long-wearing, conditioning, amazing liquid lipsticks. I don't have a bad thing to say about them. They're easy to use, they stay put. I love them. If you're looking for just an amazing liquid lipstick that's more cleanly formulated than the other things on the market right now, I would go check out Aromi. Okay, and then the last thing I have is actually a nail polish. I used to be so devoted to OPI Bubble Bath. I remember reading about it in Allure, or who knows where I read it. It was everywhere for a while. And that was always what I would get when I would get pedicures out, and I've always loved the look of light pink opaque nails. Trust Fund Money Buys Happiness is like a way better version of OPI Bubble Bath. I found that Bubble Bath would lose its pigmentation over time and like way too quickly. I would have that polish for like a year or two and I feel like it would discolor. I also felt like it discolored on the nails, and it looked good for a couple of days and then I just was like over it. Trust Fund Money Buys Happiness is just an amazing polish, amazing formula. I love the way it looks on my nails. I have it on my toes right now. It's been like my pedicure for the last 3 or 4 months probably. This actually came in a Petitbour box, a big gem that came in the Petitbour box. The formula is just really easy to use. I love the execution of the brand of Trust Fund Beauty. So yeah, I would consider this to be a very close, better dupe for OPI Bubble Bath. This video is long, but I wanted to end with a question for you because I'm trying to find a dupe for a product that I love so much and I don't want to give them up. I don't think I ever will, but I would love to find something with better ingredients that is exactly the same as the NARS matte lip crayons. I am so obsessed with this product. This is in the shade Cruella and I have Dragon Girl and Damned sitting in my Sephora cart. They're so easy to use. I need to touch up once throughout the whole day. The finish is impeccably beautiful. It's everything I aspire for in a makeup look, which is easy, effortless. I just threw this on. I don't know. There's something about these and I love it. And I would love any recommendations for any of you who have loved these and have found something comparable. Like, please tell me, because I will continue to purchase and use these, but I would also love to find a more eco version. That's going to do it. This video was really fun to do. I hope that you enjoyed hearing my perspective on products that I have tried that I find are comparable to higher end conventional products. This video is also sort of a living document in the comments. I would love to hear if you have additions to this list and we can all sort of share ideas and learn from each other. This is just sort of at this point in time what I thought were equivalents that I've tried, but obviously, by no means is it all-inclusive. So please leave a comment with any additions that you have. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in my next video in a couple of days. Bye.